Standing in front of the main gate of Gillis Women's Academy, Kyle Ettman's existence was as natural as the school's streetlights. "He's here again," the female students thought, as they impressively glanced over the young man waiting. Kyle looked over the gate and slyly grinned. He could see a young lady dragging her bicycle from afar. Kyle could recognize who the lady was through her graceful and gallant walk. But it wasn't just her way of walking that he could recognize the girl. Her face was always full of rich expressions, and her body gestures were soft and subtle. Her entire existence was everything to him. There was no other girl like Layla, and he had realized that ever since they met that summer, underneath the shade of the willow tree. Layla stopped when she heard someone vigorously call her name. She squinted her eyes towards the direction of the man who was approaching her. Kyle liked those moments. The moment the girl's steps grew faster after she recognized who he was. The moment the girl came up to him and smiled at him gently. "Why are you here again? It would have been more convenient for you to meet at the cabin." "Nah, I had plenty of time anyway." That was a lie. In order to return home from school with Layla, he had ditched his tennis club members, even though his seniors might have been waiting for him with a racket on their hands the next day. Kyle was not worried at this moment. Tomorrow's problems should be taken care of tomorrow. It'll all resolve. The two students walked side by side on a busy street. They bought some ice cream as they passed by the shopping district. They then stopped by a bookstore that smelled like dust. Layla laughed often. Besides Uncle Bill, Kyle Ettman believed he was the only one in this world who knew how often Layla laughed in front of him, and how beautiful her smile was. As they entered the path leading to the Arvis territory, the wind got cooler. Layla's eyes deepened when their conversation led to the school exam. There was a bit of despair in her eyes when geometry was mentioned. Kyle carefully observed the minor changes in her facial expressions. Not yet. Kyle suppressed the hard, fluttering words that almost came out of his mouth. He didn't want their relationship to get uncomfortable through his hasty confession. He then wondered if it was necessary to ask her to go out with him, when he was already thinking of marrying her instead. "Layla Ettman, that sounds nice. That's good. Why are you laughing?" Layla asked him while she frowned. She was complaining about her grade struggle in geometry, until she found herself looking at Kyle dazedly chuckling. I heard Duke Herhart is coming back." Kyle suddenly changed the subject. "It's been a long time. When is he coming?" "I don't know. Everyone's been babbling on and on about Duke Herhart returning. But you don't seem to really care." Hands that were on the bicycle handle tensed up. During the past years, there wasn't much contact between Layla and Duke Herhart. They only greeted each other when they met in the woods, or whenever Claudine summoned her to the mansion. Even passing by the Duke was uncomfortable that she tried to avoid him at all costs. She didn't want to see him, and she had never wanted to see him again ever since the day Duke Herhart stopped her spinning gold coin with his foot that summer evening. Claudine was the one who invited her and left her. But the Duke was the one who made her realize how much of an insignificant being Layla Llewellyn was in that strange, colorful world. That encounter left a scar different from the mistreatment she experienced at Levite. It was a memory she wanted to forget, but whenever she faced the Duke, he made her recall that terrible day. Layla hated him. The Duke's appearance kept reminding her how irrelevant she was in that beautiful estate. A black car passed by, as Layla struggled to calm her uneven breathing. Madame Norma never rode a car, so Layla figured it was Madame Ellis, who must have come back from a social gathering. With the Duke back, Arvis must be hectic for a while. "Yeah, oh yeah. Layla, should I try becoming an officer too?" Kyle now began to walk backwards while facing Layla. "I want to receive a medal, just like Duke Herhart. Captain Ettman, a brilliant marksman who can shoot down every enemy with just single shots." Kyle pretended to shoot an imaginary gun, and then smiled like a naughty boy. "Look here, Mr. Ettman. You can't even kill a chicken." Layla smirked. Although his pride was hurt, Kyle failed to refute. It was at that time last year when Kyle proudly insisted that he would pay for his meals in the cabin by helping out. Uncle Bill had ordered him to catch a chicken for dinner, but when he stepped into the chicken hen, he was unable to even pull out a single feather out. That was when Edmund got his embarrassing nickname, the gluttonous herbivore.